Hey all, Heretic here, another Hearthstone Battlegrounds Player Guide. Today, let's talk about a truly wicked villain.
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Never go in against a Sicilian when death is on the line.
My deflationator!
Stop. Oh, right there. Ooh, got it, finally. Today, let's talk about arch-villain Rafaam. Let's talk about them and the minions they use and how we can make this hero work. First, let's talk about their hero power. I'll take that. This costs 1 gold and reads, next combat, add a plain copy of the first minion you killed to your hand. So the way this works is you are going to hit the hero power, and then when a minion dies in combat from any source, you are going to get a plain copy of it. So no, not gold, no blood gems, no spellcraft, just a plain copy of this card, which is still a great value because you're spending 1 gold on your hero power to get a minion that costs 3 gold. Pretty damn useful considering sometimes you can steal things you probably shouldn't have. So some of the things you'd be thinking about when you're using this hero power, especially in the early game, is let's say you have an elemental. Let's say this elemental in the shop. Let's say you highlight over your opponent and it shows they have elementals. It's not a bad idea at this point to freeze the shop. That way, when your hero power kicks in, if you steal an elemental, it's very possible you've just set yourself up for a triple. It's also very possible you just gave yourself an early triple. If this is the case, you may consider not playing it. So look at how much damage you're going to take, who you're fighting next. Are you fighting a dead player, a live player? Because if we're talking about a difference between a tier 4 triple and a tier 5 triple, you know, the value is quite different. So really evaluate the state of your board. Can you afford to take the damage? And what are the odds of you actually getting a card you want from the triple you're going to get? These are all the things you have to really think about when you're playing Rafaam. Another good example of what you can do is, let's say you highlight your opponent and it says they have a mixed type, but you know they only have 1 minion because it's only turn 2 and they're not playing a hero that gets a free minion or anything like that. So now you know that they're going to have a dual type minion. Well, if you look at the list of minions in your lobby and say there's only 1 type of dual type in this particular lobby, you're all set, especially if you see it in the shop. Now you might want to say either buy that minion or freeze for it, and wait to see if your hero power, if you get lucky enough to snag it. You know, if you stay on tier 1 and they go to tier 2, you're almost guaranteed to get exactly what you're looking for, unless you just get unlucky and there was another dual type and you just got the wrong coin flip.
What?
When tiering with Rafaam, I always use Rafaam curve. Rafaam has their own special curve because it works very efficiently with Rafaam. This is the curve you're going to use basically every single time you play Rafaam. I'm sure there's scenarios where you wouldn't, but offhand I can't come up with them. This is pretty damn good.
Minions assemble!
Now when it comes to the minions and the strategies I like to use when I'm playing Rafaam, Rafaam is a non-tribe specific hero. So what that means is Rafaam can work with anything. Doesn't really matter on the build. You can make it work with Rafaam. So keep your mind open, take a look at the heroes you're playing, especially if you have odd heroes like Galakron, Nazoth, you know, heroes who are going to have things that they're either going to get faster than they should or that you can't normally get. The potential of stealing them might give you direction, and there's always the fact that you just might get someone who triples early into something that if you get lucky, hit it, for some reason they put it up front and it dies first and they fed you, gave you exactly what you need. Now you can use that for direction. With Rafaam, you just have to keep very nimble and keep in mind that opportunities might come randomly at the beginning of every combat.
And for only 39 cents a day, you can provide water, food, and medicine for these people.
And hey, if you enjoy these videos, if they make you a better player, if you're learning new things, if you're having fun, do me a favor, please hit subscribe, like, leave a comment. I want those comments because I want to know what you think. I want to know which part of these guides you'd like, which part maybe you don't like. It doesn't mean I'm going to change based on what you say, but I'm going to take your opinion into account and try to build these guides so they're, you know, as good as they can possibly be for everyone, where we can have fun, still learn things. You know, it's a juggling act, but I really do appreciate all your feedback. Thank you.
Strategery.
And when it comes to countering Rafaam, it's a normal game of Battlegrounds. You don't have to do anything too crazy. You counter the build they're using as you normally would, but remember to give them as little value as possible. So when I say this, I mean in your leftmost position, assuming you might get to go first. Do not feed them economy or direction. So don't put your Elemental in the leftmost slot. Why are you going to give them 2 gold? If you have an alley cat and a tabby cat, don't put the alley cat in the left slot. Put the tabby cat in the left slot in case you go first. That way you're just giving them a 1/1 brown cat. Alternatively, if you put the other one in the left slot, now you're giving them a 1/1 that has a battle cry that gives them another 1/1. You're at least giving them extra gold. So you don't do that. And be wary of the cleave. Don't put your Titus right next to your taunt. I don't care about the scenario when you're fighting Rafaam, because if you give them an extra Titus, you might be giving them a golden one. They might already have two, one sitting in their hand. And by giving them that potential, you can get in a lot of trouble. So be wary, look out for those cave hydras, look out for those wildfires. Don't feed Rafaam. Overall, I love Rafaam. Rafaam, since the launch of Battlegrounds, is my most played hero, extremely consistent, a lot of fun. I enjoy the nature of it. And a lot of times people just don't pay attention to the fact that they're fighting Rafaam, and they won't think of what should I put where and how should I do additional positioning. Yeah, sometimes they do, and they can really hurt you. But if they don't, especially, you can get some nasty stuff, and sometimes there's just nothing they can do about it. Sometimes no matter what they give you, it's bad for them and good for you. Rafaam just allows for fun gameplay. You can set up some triples, you can get key minions, and sometimes you can steal the pivot when you have no business stealing it. It's a good time. I love Rafaam. Stay tuned. I have more guides on the way. I hope you learned a few things today and had a good time. I know I did. Thanks for watching. Bye.